Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan battle video. In this video we are going to take a look at the EZA for the AGL LR Trunks kid and Goten kid unit. So obviously they are the most recent LR unit to receive an EZA, and it's a pretty decent one. So in terms of their EZA, their leader skill is now Super AGL type Ki +4 and HP attack and defense of 120%. They also are an extreme AGL type lead of Ki +3 and HP attack and defense of 90%. On their super attacks, on their 12 Ki, they have a 50% chance for either fat Gotenks or skinny Gotenks. Fat Gotenks will raise their defense by 30% for one turn and cause colossal damage to the enemy, while skinny Gotenks will lower their own defense by 30% for a turn and cause colossal damage to the enemy. So it's not really ideal to get skinny Gotenks. It's surprising that they kept this effect, but it is something that does just happen. Then in terms of their ultra super attack, they have 50% chance for either SS1 or SS3 Gotenks. SS1 Gotenks will just raise their defense for one turn, whereas SS3 Gotenks will cause mega colossal damage and greatly raise their attack and defense for one turn as well. In terms of their passive, it's pretty straightforward. It's Ki 5 to 10 randomly at the start of turn, with attack and defense of plus 150% when performing a super attack, plus an additional attack of 50% if it is an ultra super attack, and then they have a medium chance of evading enemies' attacks. So that's 30% chance evasion, which is pretty decent. It's not like huge, but it is pretty decent. It will somewhat allow them to like evade certain attacks and that. Then in terms of links, they have Z Fighters, the Innocents, Prodigies, Shocking Speed, Budding Warrior, Shattering the Limit, and Legendary Power, all which are okay links. Their link set's a little bit weak overall, just because there's no one that really links with them perfectly, which always isn't like ideal. But they're not bad. It's not like they have terrible links. Shattering the Limit's okay, Shocking Speed's a key link, the Innocence is a strong link, Budding Warrior's obviously great. And then in terms of category, they're actually on quite a few now. Originally when they came out, they weren't on that many categories, but now they're on quite a few. They're on Fusion, World Tournament, Margin Brew Saga, Joint Forces, Youth, Special Pose, Rapid Growth, Gifted Warriors, Heavenly Events, Time Limit, Bond of Friendship, and Trusted Will, Beyond, Super Saiyan, and Fused Fighters. So they're on quite a few categories overall, which is great. This is a 55% Goten and Trunks. So obviously they're going to look okay. And then we do have well, how should I say, you can raise their super attack level by using the Mighty Mask from the Super Strike event. So we're going to try them in quite a few events here. As I was saying before, they don't have a perfect linking partner. I think the most links they get from a partner is 4 links, and some of those units are actually like Beerus units. So it's a little bit weird, their link set. Like, it's not necessarily the easiest one to activate. Usually you're going to need 2 or 3 units to kind of get things going and really kind of access their link set, really get their link set kind of firing to where you want it to be. So yeah, for the most part, that's maybe their biggest issue. The losing defense on their 12 Ki isn't great. It's not something that's, in today's current meta, considering how powerful some LR units are, like losing defense on your 12 Ki is just not great. Even though it's a 50% chance, and yes, with their kind of Ki that they can get from their passive, it's not necessarily something that should pop up a lot. It is still possible, and I think that's not like the greatest situation to have. But with their Ki, I mean 5+ Ki is pretty good, and if you have 1 Ki link active, that's already 7 Ki, so you shouldn't really have a big issue, but it is something that can happen. They have 73,000 defense. Just remember that they gain all of their attack and defense upon super, so 73,000 defense for them ends up being around about 200,000 defense or so, which is obviously pretty good. It's really good. That's the thing though, they're kind of a second slot, third slot unit. They're definitely not a first slot unit. it's not really like the best situation for them to be in the first slot, because obviously they don't get any defense before they fire their super. So once they do fire their super, they get a pretty sizable chunk, which is great. They share a ton of key links with this free-to-play kind of GT units here, so that does help. But yeah, 5.9 million, really good showing. Very, very, very solid display. 5.9 million is a nice attack stat. In terms of build, I think you definitely want to go for crit. They've got evasion built in. Yes, they don't have additionals built in, but additionals help with raising their defense. But with their evasion, with their ability, like their abilities the way they are, they're not going to raise that defense too high. It will be worth it, but I just think having the crit's better. But go crit first and then go additional with the remainder. That's going to be your best situation overall. For the most part, they're just a very, very solid unit now. I think they're great. I think they second slot, third slot, awesome unit. 200k defense, 6 million attack stats at 55% is a good showing. It's definitely in line with the current meta. Possibly one of the strongest LR units since the EZA Broly, I think. Considering Broly does like a 5 million AoE attack stats, pretty nuts. But these guys, yeah, it's pretty impressive. I mean, if we take a look at them, they hit some really chunky numbers. They hit some really good numbers. And like here, okay, 53,000, but again, 53,000 is going to end up being, roughly 160, 130 or so, 140 or so thousand, which, is more than fine. And that's before the effects of their super attack. So that's defense before their super attack. So they'll have 140k once they fire their super. If you get their ultra super, regardless of whether you get SS1 Gotenks or SS3 Gotenks, it's going to shoot up again. So we'll definitely see some pretty good stats out of them. I think we'll see some pretty good numbers, and overall I think they look pretty dope. 5.9 million again, so really solid number. Obviously we do have B-Pan's effect here, so that is something. But 5.9 million followed up with a 3.2 million fat Gotenks as well, so there we go, we're raising defense again. So their defense was over 200k, 5.9 million attack stat, 3 million attack stat. Definitely rock solid. Super duper great, really good stuff. Looking really, really solid overall, which I think they look good. I like what they bring into the table. I like how they look. I think, they are a unit that I think got a good EZA, a simple yet effective one. They work well, they do good damage, their defense is now up to code. Yes, they are only a second slot unit, but with that evasion as well, I think it helps them. We'll test it out in certain events, but their evasion does help as well, and I think they're just a very solid unit overall. I think they do good work, and I think it's, I think, there's no reason not to EZA these guys. They're on a ton of categories now. The only negative is their slightly weak link set, and I think that's really about it, So beyond that, I think they're great. And they bring so much to the table, especially offensively. I mean, they just do some really good damage, which, is always great to see. And they thrive on all of their teams now. Even if you just use them as a floater, them as a floating damage dealer is ideal. I mean, it's great. Their defense won't let you down. They have evasion, they'll do big damage whenever they come on rotation. So I think they're really great. I think they are really, really solid, and they do help out some categories. I mean, heavenly events, it's great that they're on that team now. Time limits, bond of friendship, all those teams they really do thrive on. Again, nice big attack stat. They're just super good. They really are super solid. I think maybe, a rainbow one will just be fantastic. So for me, super duper happy with how they've done. We'll take a look at them in one more event, just with a different linking partner. So we'll use their best, in inverted commas, linking partner, so we can see how they do in that situation. But that's really it. So we've got them linked up. They're going to be linked up here with the physical Goten Trunks Kid duo, like the ones from the Rangers episode. So yeah, pretty straightforward. It's one of their best linking partners. They share 4 links with them, which is obviously really solid. And that's kind of it. The issue is linking partners. Like, they don't have the greatest set. They don't have like a perfect linking partner. They don't have like a front tank linking partner that's gonna soak up all the damage and link with them for 7 links and really like make them incredible. I think that's kind of the like issue, is they just don't have that. When they do have that, then they'll be a fantastic unit like throughout the whole game. They'll just be really rock solid, because they're just going to do a whole bunch of damage. I mean, even when this unit gets its easy A, for all we know, this free-to-play unit could be easy A to be a bit tankier. Could be the perfect partner for them. Even just 4 links. 4 links and someone to just soak up the damage in the first slot will be great. There are some units that share 3 links with them that can do that eventually. Units like the AGL Super Saiyan, Goten, and Super Saiyan Trunks, but not necessarily as quickly as we'd like. They do have 2 supports here, so we'll see how well they do here. Should be a pretty good attack stat from them. This is kind of a, because they gain their attack damage and their defense on super, them having 2 supports is very good for them. I mean, 6.6 million, 6.7 million. It is like more value than a support, but it's just not obviously like an ideal situation to be running so many supports just to flood one unit. But I mean, giving them that double support, I mean, at 55%, 6.6 million is a big attack stat. So yeah, very big stuff from them, and just really awesome. So yeah, I think they look really good. I don't think there's anything bad with their performance. I think overall they're super rock solid and they bring a lot to the table. And yeah, if you have them, easy A them. They're quite a straightforward easy A. I do have a guide to that up. Will have appeared in the top right hand corner before. So yeah, you should be able to see that somewhat in the video. So that should be there waiting for you, ready to help you out. But yeah, they just look really solid. Without going into any more detail, because we've already gone through everything, their passive and the way it works just means they can hit some big attack stats, and that's really awesome. It's always great to see big attack stats and see big damage, and yeah, I think they're one of those units that's appealing, because you do hit those big numbers. You hit 6 millions, you hit 5 millions, you just hit big numbers, and those big numbers do just like make people feel good. It makes you feel good to hit these huge big attack stats, and it helps, like 5 million, 6 millions, and it's exciting. Also, not to mention that their super attack effect, although simple, and maybe not the best, has held up relatively well. The whole racing around the world thing is cool. I think their card art's also actually really cool. That whole hyperbolic time chamber type, I think it's a really nice card art. So I think overall they're quite a fun unit. I think also now with Goten and Trunks Kids teams being so much fun to run, with like the Gifted Warriors trio card, the Strength Goten and Trunks card that recently came out with Maj and Vegeta, the physical Goten, the physical Trunks, the AGL Goten, Tech Goten, Int Goten, Tech Goten as well, Tech Trunks. There's like so many strong options for this kind of like youth Trunks and Goten theme team, that I think these guys, although maybe not the perfect linking foil for some of those units, can be a great floater on that team. Kind of unit that's a lot of fun to run on that team, just floating around, dealing big damage. I think it'll be a lot of fun. So I think they're cool. I like them. I think their easy A is great, and I think there's not a lot of restrictions. Link skill or link sets are a slight restriction, and then them losing defense on their 12 key, also a little bit of a restriction. But I mean, beyond that, like, they're more than fine. They're really solid. So yeah, super duper impressed and super duper chuffed with how they're doing. I think they're great, and yeah, I'm really impressed by all of their yeah, all of their like numbers that they've shown here. So yeah, I'm really chuffed, and I think if you do have them, you should definitely consider using them. So yeah, definitely do so, and easy A them. And yeah, we're done looking at the numbers. So I think we'll take a look at their link set, and then I think that's pretty much all we need to do. I think everything's pretty straightforward from here. So we'll take a look at their link set. If we look at their links specifically, Z Fighters, not that great a link, not something they're going to activate often, maybe with some units. The Innocents, pretty strong link, one they can activate quite a bit on whatever team they're on. Prodigies, also an okay link, something they might get active. Shocking Speed, a difficult-ish key link, but a pretty good one. Budding Warrior, also something they can get quite easily on a youth team. Sharing the Limit, very common key link for free-to-play units, but also a pretty strong key link in general. And then Legendary Power, which obviously is only from legendaries, but you can possibly get active on certain teams. So yeah, pretty nice stuff. Z Fighters, not so great. Prodigies, also just considering like the teams that they have available, also possibly not the best. But the Innocent, Shocking Speed, Sharing the Limit, Budding Warrior are all fairly common links that you can get quite easily on a youth team, especially something you can get. Gifted Warriors, Hybrid Sands, they're all some links you can get quite easily. As long as you get one of Shattering the Limit or Shocking Speed, as long as you get one of those two, you should pretty much be guaranteeing their Ultra Super Attack, which is what you want because of the damage increase, because of the everything. I think that's generally kind of what you want, at least. Other links like Super Saiyan, they unfortunately don't have, even though they kind of do go Super Saiyan. But I mean, yeah, everything pretty much is quite cool. Their link set's not the strongest, but they do have 2 or 3 strong links, which is why you don't find a lot of units that share 4 or 5 or 6 links with them, but you find a lot of units that share 3 links with them, and that's okay. There's some units that are like that. They don't share too many links, but they share enough to get by, which I think is the important thing. They share enough links to get their 18 key, and that's everything you kind of need. So for me, link set is okay. Link leveling them also kind of okay. You get a little bit of defense and you get a little bit of attack, but there's nothing really crazy that you get. Mainly you're just gonna get some better attacking output. You don't gain ki or anything. If you did, it would help. But yeah, mainly just attacking, which is okay. Like I said, this physical unit here is probably their best linking partner. At least the one that's on their most categories and the one that's kind of the best with them, but I would not say that they're any good at all. They need the easy A. So yeah. But that's going to be it from me, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like on it or leave a comment and I'll reply back. And you guys can let me know your thoughts, your opinions. Just how you feel about the unit. Do you have them? They were previously one of the most kind of hated units in the game. People used to pull them on banners and they were just like, no, they're bad. No, they're bad. I don't want to use them. No, they're very bad. I don't want to use them. The defense was inconsistent, was one of the main things. And yeah, they just weren't considered worth it, considering their inconsistent defense. The fact that they did damage, but they didn't do much else. So yeah, now they're definitely much better. And I'd like to hear your guys' opinions on them. Because like I said, I think they're great. I'd like to hear what other people think. Do you think they're really good? Do you not think they're really good? Or how would you have changed them to make them the perfect version of the LR that you have in your head? But yeah, I think that covers everything we need to see from them. We saw really good stats. We saw really good everything. So yeah, that's going to be it from me. But as I was saying, guys, thank you so much for watching the video. Leave a like on it if you enjoyed it, because it does help. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. So until then, take care, stay safe, and as always, I'll see you guys next time. So bye.